Hello again. Welcome again to Little Big Wins. This is a little podcast that expresses or allows me to express my little wins, very unpublic wins, very non-prestigious wins, typically not significant nor important to the entire world. But certainly important to me. And my collection of little unknown wins to anyone else but to myself have turned into or are turning into big wins. But even if they were not big, they are still wins because with every stroke and every intention and every day and every minute, I progress towards healings, just healings from life struggles and healings from unfinished business. Let's just say that. This particular episode will focus on location, but it's not quite the physical location. This is not about land acquisition or venues or for best foot traffic. What I'm talking about is that location in yourself that you know who you are. And so let's start with that. And I'm going to give my experience first, because that's really the only place of relevance that I can actually talk on with any level of legit. You know what I'm saying? It's really just my own personal. As far as what I wanted to do in life, as far as a career, I actually did not know. I did not know. Honestly, as I was growing up, I did not have a lot of big time aspirations. I was happy to be a mom of 12, and have a happy marriage. And that was it. And then, of course, college came around, and I was happily lulled into that process and all the levels and the attainability of each level, and then crossing the finish line with each level. And I, went all the way to a terminal degree in my field in the arts and letters. And this was wonderful. I was feeling accomplished, and did it fairly young. And then I just had a fairly lucrative career. And then there was a disruption. I talk about it a few times in my previous podcast. Well, anyway, my point is, up to that point, I really thought that I had figured out a lot of what I was going to do. And, but I did not plan when I was a child for me to be an academic. I did not plan that. I just knew I was interested in things. I knew that, I think it runs in my family, the sense of discernment that I needed on so many levels. My mom has it, my grandmother has it, and my aunts have it. However, that's just in general. But I did not know that I would be eligible and also have an active professor life at the university level, college level. I just did not know that would happen. It just kind of ended up that way. But I really wasn't sure if I even wanted to be a college teacher, a university instructor even. But there I was, and was coasting. And then I had a personal trauma. And I found that I could do other things. I want to avoid saying, oh, but I could do more. than just be a university college professor. Because being a professor, it's already a lot. It's already a lot. And so I don't want to diss it, or I do not want to undermine it by saying, well, you could do more. What I want to say is clearly I could do that job as a professor, I can also do other things as well for a profession. And I found that out almost by having a traumatic experience and disruption in my life. It was a relationship trauma, actually, a really, really bad breakup that I really found difficult, and I still found difficult, and I'm still asking so many questions, really, really a lot of unanswered questions about that situation. But in any case, it was a trauma. Mine just happened to be relationship-based. And that really rocked me. That really rocked me about him, who I broke up with, or he broke up with me, more specifically. And then also, that the thing that I was coasting with and comfortable with as far as a career goes, professorship, I did not know that after or in the wake of my relationship trauma, I would feel disinterest. A lot of that is because my body and my soul were telling me, hey, girl, you gotta focus on soulful things that make you work. Grieve, work through that, and then make you work thereafter, after the initial grieving of that really bad breakup. And so, of course, what did I do? I listened to my soul. And was suddenly disinterested in this other significant thing, which is to be a life-accomplishing professor. Sure. So I had to step away from that. And then there were other things about it that in a particular institution I was at, I did some legal advocacy for all kinds of wrongs, political wrongs, and job site hostilities and harassments, and a myriad of other, unearthly things. But as far as my locating myself at that time, I thought I located that corner of opportunity and career and longevity. However, hiccups and disruptions in life had me see more, and had me see other ways, a multitude of other ways, a multiplicity of other ways to approach a provident living. And so, eventually made businesses, as you know, and I feel now that those really are underway, I feel I can return to some conventional life. Not that I want to coast in life again, knowing that I needed something other in addition, but so that I can accomplish other things, have a safety net by having my own business, and move on towards learning other things connected to and in relation to, but different than the other things I had learned post relationship trauma. I'm not moving away from, I'm not like detaching myself suddenly from what has happened to me. I'm not detaching myself from the growth I've had, even through that extreme grief. Oh my gosh, it was extreme grief on so many levels. I'm not moving away from that. What I'm doing is I'm adding on to it with other experiences, is what I'm ready to do. And I was not ready to add on to it within the last 15 years. I just was not. I went through a lot, and just found some other locations in my mind. Now, when I say locations, I'm not talking about the physical moving and migrating and nomadically vagabonding. Oh, one city here, one city there. I'm not talking about that. I am talking about the precious locations of your mind and the precious locations of your mental state and the precious locations of your emotional state. That's what I mean when I say location, location, location. And locating yourself. I don't know if the word finding may be the thing, but locating yourself, because so much of us already knows where we are. We know how we feel about a situation, whether we're good or not so good about expressing that verbally, but inside we know how we feel about a particular situation. And we know, without saying it out loud, that we have some ideas, many ideas, as to how to approach, how to do something about that situation. One of those options is to do nothing, but just to sit and kind of let it happen to you, and let the grief come, and let the dark shadows come, and then let the sunny side up eggs, sunshiny spring mornings come. You do you with those mechanisms and those processes. But I'm talking about location, location, location of who you really are and who you want to be and what you really do truly want to do as a profession, as someone who has a side business, a side hustle, a full-on conventional business. What and how you will go about in the way that you truly do want to go about things, and locate that. I'm not talking about the type of self-preservation where we get into not wanting a life partner. I'm not saying, hey, isolate yourself from romance. I am not saying isolate yourself from your family. I'm not saying cut everybody off. I am not saying that, so please do not read me wrong. What I'm doing is saying that I went through a multiple set of processes so that I could show to myself that there is no limitation on how to skin that cat. Poor kitty. That's just an expression, by the way. And there are other ways besides the current way to have milk and honey flow of income, for example, and milk and honey flow of emotional elation, milk and honey flow of personal, deeply satisfying fulfillment. And a lot of it is actually has nothing to do with the actual job or profession or business. For me personally, a lot of it was, hey, these are the things that I really love and cherish. I love herbal tea. When was the last time before all this did I say and really make a space for hot herbal tea moments with a croissant, right? I never really took that deep time to think upon that, to cherish that, to treasure that part of me. The same thing with hot chocolate. Man, I love good old hot choco. I love it. I love hot chocolate and melted chocolate, thick Italian chocolate for dipping even, and for luscious sipping. Um, before my personal tragedies and healings era, I did not know that I could really savor that part of me. See, these are little things that, does the world care about these? Not really, in the same way that I do and that I need. No, because they're probably telling me, okay, get yourself 25 cents and call somebody that cares, right? But that's besides the point. These things are things that I love and I cherish. And I took the time to locate that. I love antiques and things that look like antiques. Guess what? I never really took the time, carved out any time and space in my particular life to really emotionally bank on the need of needing to be linked and connected to antiques. And to do it my way. Right? For example, I love antiques, and I know that. And part two, I was able to really be around antiques. We'd go to these thrift stores, secondhand, and see these vintage pieces of all kinds, wearable vintage pieces for my bedroom, for the wall, etc. Pieces that I can give for gifts, and and just really take the time to browse and peruse and meander in and out of the aisles there, at the array of previously loved pieces now by someone now available to the world to select and forage through in really those high cherished moments of foraging through it, at a thrift store, at a Goodwill, Salvation, or another locally owned thrift store, secondhand store. And I made a business out of it. I was like, okay, this is so delicious. I want to do that. Link to that is I love handbags. So that's something I knew about myself and was open about, and I had the time to know that. But I wanted to take the time to know it more. I did not want to be obsessed only with the object, nor the history of that object or its provenance or anything like that. The second time I looked at my love for handbags in this era in post-healing time is that I just love it. It's the cherishing of the bags that I cherish more than the actual bag itself. So I hope you guys are able to see or to think what I'm thinking. It's not just the hot herbal teas. It's not just the actual cocos that I drink. It's not just that. It's not the actual handbags or antiques or whatever that other things that I love and cherish, and allow myself only now in these years to ponder upon. It's the cherishing of that. And in that cherishing, I'm cherishing things that I am attracted to, very girly things. And I am tapping into that. It's not the actual things. it's my cherishing of the things that is so important that and that's important because I'm making time for loving myself. I know often we are told by so many gurus, so many people, and so many books, love yourself, love yourself. I have found that there are micro components of myself that I needed to give attention to. My love for wonderful cinnamony or fruity or pepperminty hot herbal tea or even cooled herbal tea happens to be one of them. There's something about like dried herbal leaves that I can dry myself or purchase from a really wonderful vendor and support their effort there and learn about all the wonderful healing and nutrients in herbal teas and watching people online mix their herbal teas. The herbalists that offer so much online and elsewhere and in person even. The pairings of different cookies with the teas, with the herbal teas. The herbal teas, what's the best creamer if you want to do like a very British style of mixing some kind of creamy, yummy, luscious substance with your herbal tea. By all means, go for it. And don't just go for it, actually revel in it. Make time to revel in it. And so I'm finding that I have feel good endorphins just just buzzing my brain and my body and my soul and myself when I allow myself the times during the day and the week and the month of the year to really locate my love for these things. And my love for these things means that I'm cherishing the cherishing, not just cherishing the object that makes me happy. And evidence of that cherishing of these things, these yummy, cool, interesting things, I am cherishing myself. It's not just this general blanket statement, love yourself. Not only that, but a certain, and not just a pampering either, but really zeroing in on what I love and loving the cherishing of what I love, loving that. And learning so much about each of these things. Again, are my efforts significant to the population of this planet? Most likely a hard no, right? But on brand with my soul is, hey, that ain't got nothing to do with how I really want to nurture, how I feel about that thing, that phenomenon, that herbal tea essence of the leaves and what they taste like and how to steep it and all these really cute teapots and the hot chocolate, the French chocolate and the Belgian chocolate and all these things, the history of chocolate tied to tropical places, even including multi-biosphere places like Mexico. I just cherish these things. I just cherish them. And travel. I do love to travel. I don't just love to go to the countries only and say, hey, I fulfilled so many things on my. It's not a checklist. I love that I love to travel. I love that I love traveling internationally. I have discovered even more about our own country, the United States, my other home region, the Pacific, even South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana, Nebraska. I mean, that particular area, the heartland of the U.S., was able to be in, but I did not just do bucket lists only. I was able to, in this era of my life, really nurture my newfound love for the northern Great Plains, and also gain a new understanding of cowboys and Indians. I just have a savoring for it, a love for it. And now that I have also lived in that area previously for 8.5 years before I moved here to New York City 8 years ago, I still love what that terrain does for me. Again, it's not the terrain, it's my love for that terrain, that geographical region with just seething with so much, just a multiplicity of experiences that that nurture me, that really nurture me. The smells of the place, what it looks like, how flat so much of it is, and how untrue that it's just flat only. About the contours of the hills and the coulees and the I mean just the multiple biomes there, and the multiple just the multiple terrains there. So I can go on and on about the things that I not only love, but the cherishing of the things that I love. And also part of that cherishing is actually making time to locate that about myself. And you can do it too. I gave myself permission to do that. It has made a world of difference. A world of difference. And you may think that you might be too young to do it, or too old past a certain age, and then you're just like, you don't really need to think about that anymore, or wherever you are in life. I do recommend that, and I recommend that is an opportunity for you to see other things about you that you did not have the time to engage in. I had the time. I was lucky enough to have the time. I do not wish my personal romantic breakup tragedy on anyone, because that was just the most hellish of hells that I have experienced, and I actually still experience it today as I relive it in my thinking and my thoughts and my questioning and my trying to express to myself and explain to myself what had happened, to ask myself what had happened. It's also linked to a lot of prayer that I've done. And I was fortunate enough to have the time not to over occupy my mind with other things. And I was very fortunate to have that, to have roof over my head, and the people who loved me and offered that to me while I was trying to put things together. I'm still putting things together. Of the realization of this location of self, of true, most sweet, fulfilling self. It's like a conduit to myself, a beacon of light to myself. However, ultimately, what does this ultimately teach me? That I truly am a child of God, and that I am made with all these complexities, and a way for me to show gratitude to my Heavenly Father is to take time to look at myself, and really dive deeper into myself. That's what I have done. I have felt so wonderfully more sure of my identity as a child of God, as a daughter of God, through this process. I wish it came in or was prompted and triggered by something else not as tragic, because I definitely felt pain. And maybe, though, that's actually the secret ingredient. The secret sauce is human pain and sweating it. But I'm still working that out in my mind, because I know the Heavenly Father, the Father that I know, would never want to see me suffer in this way. Never. He would never want that. It just happened, and me and him are working it out together, for sure. Oh, I'm getting teary as I say that. And I feel like he too is trying to tell all of us, hey, locate yourself. A way to do it is to take time for yourself. In this, then, you have a deeper reverence for yourself as a creation, and yourself as a creation, and see yourself in other ways, outside of the categories that you thought you were, and outside of the categories you maybe have limited yourself to. I'm still teary. I'm still teary about that. And so, location. Again, little things to the world. However, they are big wins for me personally. Just wanted to share that here on Little Big Wins Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Join us again next time. Mahalo nui.